You're the ones asking questions.
Okay, am I looking at the screen or at these guys? Okay.
You want to just like open the statement, just your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're down some pretty key parts right now as a team with the injuries. And the margin for error is pretty small, and I told the team going into this, we're gonna have to play really complimentary football, not turn it over, which we didn't until that last play. And if we won on special teams, I thought we'd be in it to win it, and we didn't. We gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown, and that was the difference in the game. It caused us to have to call the game a little differently in the second half and go for it in some situations where we wouldn't have had to. Disappointed we didn't get it on 4th and 1. They came up earlier and had their whole defense in there for a sneak. When we sneaked it, I thought we'd be able to toss it and get around the edge and get a big play there, and didn't get it done. So I like the way our guys fight a lot, and I want to enjoy these next 6 days with the guys that we have and everything we can to get ready for our rivalry.
Did you intend to play Finley in the game today?
He had a great week of practice. We weren't sure going into the week what it was going to look like because he'd been on the scout team, And as you know, Jack can do some things for us, but we MJ's arm and didn't look good throwing the football in practice. And we got out there in warm-ups and same thing, with the wind blowing, it was blowing hard, felt like he gave us a better chance throwing the football. He did some good things, he made some mistakes too, but he'll learn a lot from that film. So those are our two guys, and possibly we'll have MJ back this week. We'll have to see.
Can you take us back to that 4th and 1 call
Yeah.
and kind of the thought process and what happened there?
Well, I just kind of said it, earlier in the game, it was 3rd and 1 and we sneaked it and their whole defense jumped into the A and B gaps and we barely got it. And so I thought if we went heavy personnel and got under center, they'd do the same thing. We'd toss it and run around the edge. And they didn't, so we still had a chance there if we run through a tackle and, Mike just got tackled there. So, it's a 2-possession game at that point. I felt like we'd get the first down and be able to go down and score. So, it's one of those calls that you can second guess yourself on, I guess, but just my philosophy on that is you go for it in that situation. That's what I believe in. It's what I've always believed in, and I'll continue to do that.
You guys have covered kickoffs well this year.
Yeah.
The longest returns, like 27. What'd you see on that play?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're kicking into the wind in that situation. We thought we would get the ball on the ground like we did. And unfortunately, the guys that were supposed to be in their lanes went to the ball on the ground and he picked it up and there was a big hole. If the ball was caught cleanly, we'd have had better lane integrity, and they did a good job blocking us there. We had some guys, it looked like, I haven't seen the replay, but it looked like we had some guys on the ground. And but the guy made a heck of a play and we didn't do a good enough job getting off the blocks right there.
They did a pretty good job running the ball against
Yeah.
you, maybe as well as anyone.
Yeah. They did. I mean, you can see our rotation's not what it was right now. We're missing some guys. And so I have to watch the film to tell you why that happened. But that's what Louisville does, they're going to run the stretch. And today was a day where you had to really live with the run game. It was tough to throw the ball today.
You mentioned that MJ, might be able to come back next week.
Yeah.
Was there a time this week where you knew it wasn't going to happen, or was it really?
Yeah, we
day-to-day?
knew Sunday that he'd be out this week, and it's a day-to-day thing. So we'll just take it one day at a time and see what the doctors tell us on that one.
How about the other players? Yes, you think they might have a chance to play?
Which ones are you
It's a
talking
game
about?
like the Gibsons, Penix, and Peyton Wilson, people like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not ruling anybody out, but I couldn't tell you right now, man. I don't know.
Is it a little overwhelming to have so many starters and so many key guys out this late in the season?
Yeah, it is. It's very overwhelming, what the season started with. It's turned into, a lot of guys being injured, and it's unfortunate, particularly when, we're still sitting there with 7 wins and had a chance to get to 10, and now that's out of reach. So got a chance to play 6 more days with a bunch of good guys, and the kids that are hurt, they'll try to fight and get back. And if they're healthy enough, they'll play. If they're not, we'll roll with who we have.
Coaches, I know it's been a tough week, but you also had a situation with a former player. Just did that affect you at all, or how did you go about handling that situation?
Well, I can't comment on it. As far as me personally, yeah, obviously, that's something I've never had to deal with. So It was a difficult week, with the UVA situation on top of that. I thought it was just a lot of things away from football that, wasn't a normal Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday for really the country that pays attention to college football. And then I had a few more things going on than others. So, just take it one day at a time and go from there. Thank you.